Again, with position being such a critical factor in the wind. Excellent overhand.
That's the man to throw it to. There's not too many people that can take the disc away from him. A guy that's 6'6" in the end zone if you throw it up.
Don't you think that was a little risky throw with such an open face of the disc to the wind?
It's so short and so hard that the wind usually won't get a chance to get a hold of that one. There's also a lot of revolutions on it, so it's going to stay pretty much where it is. The only problem is it's pretty difficult to catch, and you got to know it's coming. It's going to come in hard.
Yeah, that disc had a lot more on it than it might seem from looking at it. Okay, Rude Boy's going to throw off into the wind with a backhand curving out of the bounds, curving right into the middle of the end zone.
David Barkham will play the disc. That was a big goal for the Rude Boys. They're only 2 down now. They can get a defensive big play here. They're right back in it.
Really using an umbrella zone defense with 2 defenders playing about 10 yards off of the man with the disc. Punch through.
Yes, with this amount of wind, there's only a few throws that the thrower can make with any accuracy. So the zone that was an excellent zone play. The deep man was back there to make sure he cut off that long throw in case they went long. This is exactly what the Rude Boys need. They need a good, solid, patient work offense here. Oh, it was an excellent play.
10-yard pass and
That'll be a goal.
In the end zone. Excellent forward passing there. They saw the open slot, had the sidearm passes that were like slingshots right in there.
Good patience and a big goal for the Rude Boys. It's 6-5 now. Rude Boys are only down 1 point after being down by as much as 3 earlier in the half. Peter Farrick will be coming out, and looks like Joel will be going in to take his place.
The Rude Boys are about ready to throw off downwind. That's a straight, long backhand. The wind helping it over to the far side of the field, in the corner.
Landed out of bounds, and the hostages have asked it to be taken over.
It's their right if the disc goes out of bounds up to what, 3 throws or as many times as they want?
I believe as many times as necessary. It is required that the pull land on the playing field. They may take it, the receiving team may take it if it wishes, even if it goes out of bounds, but in that case, Moon was trying to pin the disc in the corner, going upwind, set up their zone.
Evidently he thought he could get a better pass, better throw-off position again in this tight game.
Well, that's the worst place on the whole field for the hostages to take the disc out from. So if it went out of bounds, they were going to take it. He's again trying to pin him in that corner. That one looks like it's going to go out also, and they're going to ask for it again.
Yeah, from any point there, you'd be throwing directly into the wind, and it wouldn't take too much for a defensive player to try and block off that corner.
Yep, that would be a big place for the Rude Boys to turn it over. They could turn it over right on the goal line, go in and tie this game up with still at least 8 minutes left to go in the half.
So I'll be lining up again. Rude Boys trying to get that throw off to land in the end zone. Pretty difficult with this wind situation being what it is, and yet to be able to get it the full 60 yards to the other end zone. Both teams given a chance to rest a little bit, and we're ready to start. Here's the throw-off. He's using the same technique, but that looks like much further in.
But the strategy worked there for the hostages. They asked for him to take it over. They did, and they actually got a much better pull, a much better position to start their offense.
He evidently got his hand underneath that before it hit the ground. These are experienced players. You can see the ease with which they catch and throw the disc. They're looking for just the perfect, nice punch through there, all the way downfield.
Okay. Open it up there. You notice that all these players have very good disc skills. You won't see unforced
up in the air with a curve into the corner. Yeah, what a point. That was a very tricky throw in the wind.
It was a nice throw. He had to read the wind as well as the way the man was going to cut. He was open there for a moment, but if he hung it up a little bit in the wind, it's very possible it could take it right out of bounds.
Or the defensive player might have had more time to get to that point.
That's part of the problem with playing in the wind and playing in a zone defense. A man will appear to be open, but when you get it, by the time the disc gets down that far, the defense has a lot of time to react.
And if you're going to go over anybody at all, it's got to go up high, and that gives it a chance to float. And he was using an angled pass in that case, and so the actual time in the air would have been a lot less.
Yeah, well, he had to get it off just right. The slightest little miscalculation would have taken that disc out of bounds or left it up there too long.
Okay, here we have a sidearm throw off that's floating back toward the far edge, the sideline, but it did land inbounds, and Rude Boys will bring it in from the corner. An excellent throw off.
Yeah, that was about the best thing they could have done with that pool, to pin the Rude Boys in the corner. The coffin corner, as they call it. They've even dropped it back right to their own goal line in order to get it around that zone. They're not going to make a bad pass. None of these players will give the disc away. Got to come up with a big defensive play to change possession.
Trying to break out the disc a little bit. Zone has got him under a little bit of control right now. Positioning over to this sideline, and it's floating.
Moon caught that one. That's the man that's going to make the big plays for them. That was a kind of a tricky pass. It hung up there for a long time. Would have been difficult to catch, but Moon was able to do it.
You can see the umbrella with the nice defensive play, horizontal on it. But he got the disc, which is what that zone is supposed to do.
The Rude Boys have called a man-to-man on the turnover here. They chose not to try and set up their zone. The transition between offense and defense is the most difficult part of the play.
You can see now the game is really sped up a bit. It's no longer a positional game. It's a speed game with each player trying to outrun who he's been assigned.
One of the men is lost. One of the Rude Boys is
all the way over on the far side, but evidently doesn't go for the throw. Crossing lead pass.
Difficult man to cover. Good matchup there, but David Barker